Nako, burnout, napakagandang term, but it entails a lot of things, from subtle to severe forms of burnout. So when you say subtle, simple headache is one. Dizziness. Sometimes blurring of vision, parang naduduling ka.
Wow.
Other than that, of course, nandun na yung mga worst scenario, yung forgetfulness, mindfulness, nawawala na, focus, nawawala.
Wow.
And then, of course, these things, may tinatawag na global amnesia. So
Wow.
yung global amnesia naman, kala mo na stroke ka.
Hello, Cindy.
I'm nervous.
You should not be because you're following on TikTok. Yan, gusto ko sabihin sa kanila, you're following on TikTok is really amazing.
Really?
It has grown by leaps and bounds. Meron siyang mga episodes, guys, that have been viewed 800,000 times, 500,000 times. So that only means na very relevant yung mga topics that she has been undertaking and discussing with a lot of people. Kaya kahit di tayo maka 500,000 ngayon, we will still make an effort sa HR community, sa businesses to make an impact.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm ready.
Game.
Game.
So today I want to talk about sustainability of leadership. And you know that the central focus of sustaining leadership is talagang health and wellness. Doktora, wag tayong lumayo. Totoong stressful ang job sa corporate world. Can you tell us some of the visible and invisible signs of burnout? Kasi sa sobrang busy ng mga ating mga executives or even the non-executives, they actually forget na they're human beings, they're not a machine. They tend to overlook some of the things na very critical and important. So, if you are to advise them and let them know, ano yung invisible and invisible signs that they are on the verge of burnout?
So, burnout actually is a term actually from the Gen Z, diba?
Yes.
So, before we don't have such a term that we use, especially at work or at school, no? But currently, especially on a workplace, maraming mga subtle signs that they are already burnt out. So,
Yes.
one of them is yung pagod, no? So, most of us think that it's a common, symptom na parang pagod because you're
Right.
doing something. But actually, it's already the first sign of being burned out.
Wow.
The second that we usually see sa mga patient would be parang they lost interest, no, on what they're doing. So parang yan mo na, they walk away. So
Unengaged na.
yes, unengaged. They don't understand. They don't want to really perform, no, on the conversation or any activity. So that's one sign also. Now, there are some signs, specifically yung medyo severe forms of burnout. Yung nakakalimot na. They forget a lot of things, lost interest nga,
Wow.
and sometimes they feel confused. So, medyo on the extreme side of being burned out, pero yan yung common na nakikita namin. No? So, not necessarily from executives, but also from
Exactly.
the employees.
Yes.
So, yung mga chest pain, common yan na nakikita, but sa mga executives, binabaliwala kasi. So, maybe they're just tired, etc. Pero, yung mga ganon, chest pain, masakit ang likod, abdominal discomfort.
Right.
These are subtle signs na pwedeng you were dealing already with signs of burnout.
Wow. I mean, you mentioned a couple of things na you would not like yung confusion, you mentioned about forgetfulness. Minsan yung ibang tao, they put it like another term for it, di ba? Pero hindi na alam, nakakabit na pala siya sa stress.
Yes.
Meron ba, doktora, na parang more, kumbaga, contributing factor na mas, halimbawa, is it lack of nutrition? Is it lack of exercise? Kumbaga, one or two things that really contributes to that na mas higher yung propensity ng isang individual because lacking yung isang element na yon.
Number one is lack of sleep.
Lack of sleep. There you go.
So it tells you that you are really stressed. You have a lot of things in your mind. Kaya ganun ang nangyari. The day after you have that particular event. So,
Wow.
lack of sleep.
Okay. And doktora, if I'm sure there are a lot of people, siguro doon pala sa initial question, marami ng buzzwords sila and they stuck on to hearing more. What would you advise the executives or their employees on how to address itong mga pinag-uusapan natin ngayon? I'm sure most of them would rather not do anything about it kasi nga sobra silang busy. Pero ayoko naman takutin sila. But I think we need kailangan may call to action tayo today to send them to the doctor like yourself para ma-address yon.
So I think ang pinaka-importante doon is recognizing that kung meron ganun sila mga subtle signs or even evident signs, seek consult. Hindi na dapat talaga yung postpone it, etc. Kasi sometimes parang dina-downplay nila yung mga symptoms.
Yes.
So, dapat hindi dina-downplay yun. Kasi, most often than not, pag severe na yung mga symptoms, medyo late na yun, no?
Yes.
Kasi a doctor, baka ma-hospitalize ka pa. That's the worst of it.
That's the worst of it.
Kaya maganda, whenever they feel something, they are not really in shape in terms of mental, emotional.
Yes.
So, dapat they have to think maybe may organic disease underlying it.
Correct.
Diba?
Correct. And Doktora, I know you're on the other side of the fence. Kumbaga, yung mga people working, no, meron silang sariling mundo. And I know you've seen a lot of people, whether they are housewives, numerous age, ibang sex. Is there an advice that you can give them? Like, in the atmosphere that they live in, or whether sa office o sa bahay, is there something they can do differently para maging mas palatable yung peace of mind or yung environment nila should ease the tension? Kasi sa mundo na to, when you live a life, ganun talaga. There's no one individual in this universe na walang stress sa buhay. All they can do is, seek help from a doctor or preventive, devise a way by which they can create an environment. Sa'yo, Doktora, what would you advise them in that creation of that environment?
Ako, parang general ang tinitingnan ko here. So, not necessarily from executive, but
Yes.
everybody who's in the
Yes,
office.
absolutely.
Even at school, no?
Absolutely, yes.
What we do is we have tinatawag namin a pause, maybe an hour after a meeting or after work. You pause, you stand up. We ask, for example,
I love that.
so students, we ask them to stand up and then stretch a little. For people who are working from home, we ask them, okay, so after
True.
having in the computer for 1 to 2 hours, stand up. We go to the kitchen, go up and down the stairs. So some form of exercises para medyo ma-relax not only the mind but also the body as well.
Correct. Doctor, I love it because we do have a team of people that we've gathered together. We now call them the longevity team. So you're one of the medical practitioners doon, cardiovascular, but we also have a globally certified nutrition coach. Meron tayong movement expert, meron tayong mental health wellness expert. What do you think about this program, which we now call, you talked about pause, and I think it was a perfect segue to this. We call it intentional pause. Are you excited about this particular program?
Honestly speaking, actually, I'm nervous.
Okay, all right.
I'm
Yes.
just being honest
Yes, no.
because, in reality, the life of a doctor is really very busy. So we
Yes.
are not, like for me,
Yes.
I'm not just a private practitioner. I work for a government hospital.
Tama.
I teach, no? I've been expert
love that.
leaders also in pharmaceutical business. So putting this again in my schedule, meaning parang medyo pause muna ako.
Yes.
But
yes.
come to think of it, I really wanted to make a difference, no, in this community of BPOs, no? Because I saw a lot of patients from BPO who really are quite neglectful on their health.
Yes.
But there also is another spectrum of which, wherein most of these patients naman, walang sakit, but they abuse naman the HMO of the company.
Tama.
So dapat maturuan sila.
Wow.
Dapat maturuan sila on proper way of really recognizing early detection of the
Right.
different diseases.
Right.
no? So, when we got together, so sabi ko, teka, kaya ko pa ba? But, with that inspiratory message that you were telling me,
Yes.
I got that feeling that I may be that right person to be there because I really want to have a legacy, because this project is quite unique.
Correct.
And this will be the very first type of a unit
Yes.
or an organization that will
Yes.
really set forth a very good experience, to the people in this industry in terms of health and wellness.
And Doctora, thank you so much for pointing out the fact na it's not going to be an easy road, not only individually, kasi I agree with you, Doctora, as it is when we met you, super busy ka na. And then we're adding this to your plate, but you did not even say no because nga we feel like we can make a dent sa industriya na ito that I grew up in. I've been in this industry for a long time. And we feel like we can use your expertise talaga to deepen yung understanding ng mga tao on the value of life and good health, no? Kaya thank you in advance for
We share the
saying it.
same passion.
Exactly.
Share the
Thank
same
you for that.